period. When you buy the books, the videos, the T-shirts, all of it, you support our entire operation, reaching tens of millions of people a month, hundreds of millions overall in the sum total. And it's so important that we continue. So it's a listener's idea to have these money bombs. It's the 2010 third annual money bomb. Infowars.com, InfowarsMoneyBomb.com. And if you're listening all over the world, we're all in this together. If you're listening in Australia, if you're listening in Europe, if you're listening in Mexico, if you're listening in Costa Rica, if you're listening in Japan, and you believe in what we're doing, buy some books, buy some videos, buy some T-shirts, buy some these new Don't Tread on Me wristbands that are so popular. Donate $5, $1,000, whatever, because if what's left of the middle class doesn't get together and call for the prosecution of the Federal Reserve, J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, if we don't really come out boldly and say, look, criminals, we see you. Doesn't matter if you're bald-headed and wearing a $5,000 suit, you're a chicken-necked, Ken Lay, Bernie Madoff scumbag, and it's over. If we don't do that and start, truly taking this country back, I mean, even if we tried to fix everything now and did everything right, it's going to be incredibly painful. But these guys are taking us on an express elevator to hell, and we need to be louder and stronger and more focused. They're coming in with troops on the streets, wanting to shut down the free internet, trying to protect themselves from the crimes that these out-of-control, arrogant lunatics have committed against us. They think they're going to use the crisis to offer their total solution, which is letting them even, basically crap on us and rub it in, as they say. So I'm not putting up with it. And there's nowhere to run. This is global, and everybody needs to donate. We need to raise $175,000 in the next 6-7 hours. And so please support us. Resistance is victory, and you better step up, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. And we're doing this money bomb also because as the implosion accelerates, who knows how bad it'll be soon? Who knows if we can even, stay on air in the current configuration if this continues? I mean, I can see the writing on the wall. So the toll-free number to call and donate is 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139, or InfowarsMoneyBomb.com, or link through at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. But we are here, ladies and gentlemen, going in through and beyond. Max, everything I just talked about, the alternative media under attack, all these outfits attacking us daily, MSNBC, CNN, Media Matters, ABC Nightly News, always trying to imply I'm calling for violence, always trying to imply I'm evil and must be shut down, cybersecurity openly wanting to take over the web. Can you comment on how important it is to support alternative media and really run straight on at this enemy?
Well, let's keep in mind that the reason the mainstream is attacking your show is because they don't want people to understand that mainstream media borrows heavily from your show. So the stuff you talk about on your show 6 months in the future is picked up by mainstream media as news. So they're too cowardly to admit that you're setting their agenda. So they simply attack you and hope people don't understand that you're setting the media agenda. They just don't want to pay you the $20 or $30 million a year that they pay these other idiots on mainstream media because they're cheap, and guys like Murdoch over at Fox News is intellectually dishonest. And if they were honest, they would be, your organization would not be scrambling for $175,000. You'd have $20 or $30 million in the bank, and you'd be doing, the work of reconstituting the U.S. economy after the collapse. But you see, they're putting you on the margins. But at the same time, they're stealing all of your best stuff. So you're getting hit twice.
Well, they did that to you too, Max, and of course your technology patented that they've basically repackaged with the stock market issues, and folks can look that up on. That's
right. I'm familiar with the scam. It's unfortunate, but the compromise is unacceptable. I mean, you don't accept the compromise, and I don't accept the compromise. And hopefully, there's enough people in the U.S. that are going to decide that they don't want to be compromised, and they're willing to take the steps necessary to get rid of this entrenched group of oligarchs and media monopolists, and to try to give birth to something that's going to be more representative of the values that supposedly are represented in the documents that created the country to begin with.
Well, talking about stealing my stuff, I'm happy if folks take the ideas and the guests and the information we talk about and put it out there. I mean, this most sincere form of, flattery is imitation. But, take Glenn Beck. I now have it confirmed in triplicate from people inside Fox that they're like, you don't understand. He's got a staff of over 40 people. He's got 5 people every day just to watch and listen to your show. And I don't even know why. I don't think I'm that good. And then now I see everything I do, not a month after, 2 days later, the same guests, the same video clips, the same research, but then repackaged where he's not blaming the military-industrial complex. He'll blame some mid-level nothing foundation or some little moronic communist academic who probably can't even, brush their teeth or tie their shoelaces or wipe their own, hind end without, help. Literal mental midgets. And so they know this is effective, so they just repackage it and then divert it off. But I'm getting attacked by the left, the right, all these things. And, the FBI and the Southern Poverty Law Center and the ADL. It's like 5 times a day they're attacking now on the news, not once a week. And it's a little creepy because I'm just some regular guy from Texas that, I learned 10 years ago they were repackaging mortgages and selling them and had an economist on that said this is going to implode. All I'm doing is saying, I love my country, don't destroy me. And if they're so threatened by some pumpkinhead redneck, who are these people? It actually shows how pathetic they are, Max.
Well, to the 17 or so intelligence agencies in the U.S. that are trolling my site, and we can check that out, obviously, from the data that we track, my message is very simple. Keep clicking on the ads.
But okay, let's take the average person in one of the 17 giant agencies who are just stealing secrets and data from, American companies and others and giving it to globalists and all their drug dealing and crimes.
This is the amazing thing. You get all these intelligence agencies in the U.S. spying on me. While they're doing so, they're clicking on my ads. That revenue ends up subsidizing my French cheese purchases. So these 17 intelligence agencies in the U.S. are helping the French cheese manufacturers by subsidizing my purchase of the copious quantities of Camembert and Brie that I buy every week at my local fromagerie, and it's all being brought to me thanks to the idiocies of these 17 intelligence agencies who will sit all day at their desk playing with themselves and clicking on ads on my site. I say, bring it on. Click on more ads. You're subsidizing. I live in France, which was just discovered to have the highest productivity of any country in the world, and they work the least number of hours. The French people work the least number of hours a year, and they have the highest productivity, and they enjoy one of the highest qualities of life in the world. Brought to you by those jackasses at the American intelligence agencies. Thanks to you, I'm living like a real human being, not like a casino gulag victim face down in the cotton plantation down there in the southern United States.
Well, let's expand on that. It came out decades ago that the CIA has classified millions of newspaper clippings. And this is not a joke. They don't want the rest of the government reading it in their research, so they take Washington Post and New York Times articles and they snip them out and classify them. And when we look at our weblogs, and we haven't done this in a while, it is literally, of the millions of visitors that we get every few days, it's probably 0.5% is CIA, NSA, all these other defense intelligence, and we're talking about not clicks, not hits, tens of thousands of individual government IPs, not even hidden, logged in for hours. And so they're not just there spying on us. You're right. They're sitting there doing Lord knows what, just spending hours listening to us right now. They're obsessed with us, Max.
Right, and of course that generates ad revenues. And so, if it weren't for the intelligence agencies, I wouldn't have nearly the ratings I do now. So my business model is to capture some of that government largesse that they're throwing at these guys, converting it into clicks, and then buying, maintaining my lifestyle in a real country, France, which, by the way, if it wasn't for France, there would be no America, because who do you think funded the American Revolution but the French? This is why the monarchy of Marie Antoinette collapsed, is because they had all these debts to the United States. So America, their hatred of France is misplaced. It's like a petulant child, hating their parent. I mean, America sprung from the loins of France, and this is the motherland. This is where all the intellectual heavy lifting took place that created the documents, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, all these things came from the intellectual heavyweights in France.
Well, we know why there's all the France bashing. That's because we've taken on a Anglophile, for those that don't know, kind of the worship of all things English, and not of the English people, but of the tiny corrupt imperial elite over there. And of course, France was our big buddy till British intelligence set up the CFR, and through our media, they taught us to hate France. And so it's literally just a 300, 400, 500-year-old British elitist hatred of France that they gave the East Coast, people that talk about the Atlantic accent, or like Gilligan's Isle, with the Thurston Howell III. Oh, lovey-dovey. Oh, Spaulding it over here. How dare you? I mean, that's the East Coast people just in the last 100 years trying to act British, trying to, affect all of that. And that's kind of what runs our country today. But that's a side issue of culture. Max, I want to keep you about 10 minutes to the next hour. And then we've got Gerald Salente coming on for about an hour and 50 minutes. But I do want to start getting to these calls. Max Keiser is our guest. And we'll see what gold does today and the economy and all of this happening.
You got a new investment opportunity. If Prop 19 passes in California, you'd be able to buy marijuana-backed bonds, because they're going to raise about $20 or $30 billion in marijuana bonds backed by future tax collections of the marijuana industry. So I've got a new portfolio of what I call gold and ganja. Gold and ganja will give you the income from the marijuana bonds and the capital appreciation from the gold. It's the Acapulco gold and ganja bond portfolio. This is so tempting, Alex. I'm thinking about actually getting back into the money management business directly, because I can't think of a better, easier portfolio than to have 50% in zero coupon ganja bonds and 50% in gold assets. I could be making 5, 6, 7% a year income on the ganja bonds and get 20 or 30% a year appreciation on the gold. I'm so excited by this. I'm thinking about actually leaving the whole broadcasting thing and going back into money management, because this is the easiest money-making opportunity I've ever seen in 20 years.
Max, you're not going to leave broadcasting. But seriously, as for those that don't know, ganja is the Jamaican name for marijuana. Okay, let's go to some phone calls.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody knows that, Alex. None of your listeners are very, especially Matt. I bet Matt is laughing his head off right now in the control room because you're trying to explain to people what ganja is.
I think Matt's actually sleeping.
Industry in California right now. It's California's biggest cash crop. You don't think they know what ganja is in California? That means that it's one of the biggest cash crops in the entire American economy is marijuana. What do you think drives what's left of the American economy? It's guns and dope.
Thank you, Mr. Keiser. That'll be quite enough from you. Let's go to Ingo in Australia, the land down under. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the transmission.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for having me. And I have to say, big thank you for waking me up. Happened about 2 years ago. I'm absolutely fired up about your work and what you do, the DVDs that you put out. It's absolutely enlightening. I now am a proud owner of the 911 with an inside job sticker on the back of my car. And I keep spares in the car with me. And when people pull me up, I hand them a few of these stickers. I say, go check it out for yourself. Use your brain, work it out for yourself. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much.
I have a question for Max, just regarding gold. I've done a lot of research in books and documents and stuff, and I've read the history about what's happened to gold in the United States. Where's it all gone to?
You're talking about the 8,000 rumored tons in Fort Knox?
Yeah, the 9,000 tons of gold in Fort Knox. There's always a transfer happening after every war, after every major event, and I'd just like to know, Ron Paul's talking about having, auditing the Fed and auditing the Fort Knox, but where's it all gone to?
Well, yeah, I think 2 points. Number one, it would be nice to audit Fort Knox to find out if there's actually the amount of gold that they say that's in there. And now where has all the gold gone? That's a good question. Germany would ask the same question because, interestingly enough, when I was in the Bundesbank a few years ago, they revealed to me, and James Turk over at goldmoney.com confirmed it, that most of Germany's gold is actually held in New York. China's been buying gold. I think they have surreptitiously been buying gold.